Hi folks, John Cordisco here. Great game. Great game from round 3. This is from the U.S. Women's Championship 2016. This is a game I want to mention in the beginning. At the end of the video, there'll be short interviews with both of the players. So look forward to that at the end. But this is a game that proves that chess will never be solved by computers. Ever. It's just too complicated of a game, and that's a good thing. And this is a game that shows that human emotion plays a huge factor in the outcome of a game. Let's get to it. As white, Alyssa Melekhina. Pretty sharp woman. Got out of high school when she was 16, got her law degree. I don't think she's 23 yet. She's playing white. Actually met Alyssa. Got her autograph for the World Open. And as black, current women's U.S. champion, Irina Krush. Met her as well. Got her autograph when I was in Philadelphia. Let's get to it. Melekhina's white. Krush is black. It's going to be a closed Sicilian, which I've seen videos. Trying to remember what site it was. I think Alyssa also has a DVD out on the closed Sicilian, so I consider her an expert. F4. We'll go through the opening here. I'm not real familiar with the closed Sicilian. Castles. E6. The bishop takes. Rook takes. Okay. They call it the closed Sicilian because you don't play D4 as white and then recapture with the F knight. All those pawns are still there. D3. Now, you give up the bishop, of course, here, the light squared bishop. But I like this pawn center for white. And, of course, this bishop's got pretty good reign right now. Knight F6, Queen E1. The bishop takes, Rook takes. Not as good, of course, as G takes. Bishop E7. You would never want to take with that pawn. Bishop E7. F5. She's going for it. Now, I'm sure this is all in her preparation. I have no doubt. Knight D7, Knight G4, both good moves. She decides to go Knight D7. Queen E2. Knight E5. That's a good spot for that knight. Now, the computer likes Rook to F2, Rook to F1, Rook G3. Alyssa decides to go Rook H3. Now, I know it's not too long in the video. Anybody that wants to maybe stop watching now, the ending is really amazing. So stick by this video if you're thinking about maybe watching something else, because the ending is really amazing. Bishop F6, Bishop F4, Queen E7. Okay. A little advantage for white, nothing serious. Brings the other rook around. She's really going after her. When you've got the rooks, got the pawn right here. Queen can come over. What castle? What side is black going to castle on? We'll see. A6. Probably stopping the knight from coming in. Just to raise havoc. Knight D1. Now she brings the knight around. Pawn, castles finally, Knight F2. She's going to get all her pieces on the king side. This is going to be, somebody's going down. Rook C to C8, brings the other rook back. Not as good as E takes, because after E takes, Rook, F takes, F takes, Rook E3, and even though the computer doesn't show a big advantage for white, just a point, but it's a lot easier to play white, and there's a big attack coming. After Rook C to C8, Queen to D2. Computer didn't like that very much. The computer really liked Knight to G4, is what the computer really wanted. Bishop H6. She decides to put the queen there first. Now Bishop G7. Bishop H6, F6. Of course, we Want to keep the queen right there. You definitely don't want to take, because after queen takes, you got this battery bearing down on you. F6. Those of you are wondering about if e takes, after bishop takes, king takes, queen checks, king. Look at this fiasco. Absolute fiasco. And black's just busted. Absolutely busted. Once you move the knight, well, anywhere, I guess, here, this pawn comes up and this king is just trapped. After f6, f takes. Now we're on move 21. And Irina's time is starting to tick really down. She's really, really low on time. She miscues here. Not a ton, but fairly badly. Probably should have played bishop takes h6. Or maybe even f5. She says rook f to e8. And all of a sudden, instantly, it's a 2-point advantage. So Alyssa's pretty much sitting in the driver's seat. What do you do? What do you do? She's really low on time. Do you make the obvious move? Bishop takes g7 or even d4. She goes b3. And if I remember watching the video on this, if you go to YouTube, Chess Club and Scholastic Center of St. Louis, their chess channel site, you'll see all the rounds. And you'll see the live commentary and you'll be able to see the game. And interesting mental ploy there. Making Krush think maybe a minute longer. She only has 2-3 minutes left. By the way, it's a 30-second increment per move. Interesting ploy. Knight goes back. Not good. Not good. Probably should have taken the bishop on h6. That queen's more than enough to defend the king there. But she goes knight to c6. And it's just piling up on her. Now bishop takes. Queen takes. Now d4. Absolutely killing. Absolutely killing. Pawn takes. Pawn takes. Now you see why rook can't take. Pawn comes up and forks both the pieces. So you can't do that. Knight goes to e7. What a crappy blockader there. Pawn is way too far advanced for that. Knight to g4. She can just wait. Now, of course, the f-pawn. You're threatening knight takes. Rook has to come to guard. Queen to f4. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. f5. Now knight checks. King goes to h8. Queen takes. Knight c6. Krush is just crushed. I hate to use that, but it's pretty much true. Knight f7 check. King g8. E takes. It's a 5-point advantage for white. This allows, of course, a forced exchange of queens with queen takes, knight takes. This is where it starts getting a little dicey. It's an almost 5-point advantage now, 4.9 according to the computer. We'll call it 5. Black is busted. And we're move 32, and she's basically running on increment. Tough, tough, tough. And you'll see both their points of view and their thinking process a little bit in the interviews at the end of the video. But you're Irina, you're defending champion. You're facing a loss. You have 1.5 points out of 3, you lose this game. And Alyssa, heart pounding, just tough. What do you do? Rook to d3 is the computer's choice, and I actually agree. Rook to e3 is also pretty good too. But she has to go knight to d6 instead. She's still winning, but she's losing the grasp There's an old saying, it's the hardest thing to win is a one game, and there's a lot of truth to that. Rook c7. She just goes along, g4, that's fine. G takes, rook checks. Now, she moves the king to f2, it basically draws. She moves the king to h1. Irina Krush has got some breath left in her life. Rook to g3 is the only move, and Alyssa finds it. Knight checks, forcing the king to move, and that's fine. Knight takes, pawn takes. Technically, she's down the exchange. She's got 2 pawns for her, but look at what 2 pawns it is. You got a knight, a pawn, and a pawn. This game is basically over. Even though I have to say she let Irina back in. Rook to d8. f6. That was the mistake. The mistake of all mistakes. Rook to d1. Rook to c1. Means you can't take the knight. If you go rook to c1 and rook takes, you're doomed. She went f6. And now the game is drawn. Rook to d1 was the best move. Then after rook e7, king f3, and white's just sitting in the driver's seat. She goes f6. Rook takes the knight. She's probably thinking, I'm fine. But no. Pawn takes. What she thought was going to happen was that black was going to move the rook on g7. And it was over. She took the knight instead. A pawn takes. Rook takes. Rook to d1. And we see the rest of it here. Check. And that's the end. What a heartbreaker for Alyssa. She played really, really well. To outplay Irina Krush, you've got to be pretty good. And on top of that, she doesn't play chess full time. She's a lawyer, and she talked about how it's tough finding time to prepare. But she can obviously play with the best of them. So that's the game. I consider that the game of the round. That's the game from round 3 of the Women's U.S. Championship. Tough break. Anyway, folks, look for that interview at the end of the video. And as I always say, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.
Very relieved.
You know, the sentence, there is no luck in chess, has been said many times. But after seeing the game today, you've got to feel like a lucky star was over the head of our 4-time defending champion, 7-time champion overall, Irina Krush. Irina, there's no final point to put on it. You just got lucky.
I got lucky, Maurice. That's it.
I mean, it's incredible. What were you thinking when she was just playing these great moves? Your position just deteriorated so rapidly when she got in bishop h6 and took on e6, and it just looked hopeless.
You know, honestly, I think Alyssa played a great game today. I mean, she definitely outplayed me. She made a lot of good moves and some decisions that I didn't expect. This whole queen d2 move with the idea of getting the queen to h6 and then bishop h6, which I missed. You know, I had to defend kind of against a lot of threats, and I don't know, maybe my position was bad or maybe there was some way to defend, but it certainly wasn't easy. And when you're facing difficulties, it's easy to make mistakes. And
then she played d4 and knight came to g4, and it was just over. What were you thinking as you were making moves? Did you really think you would get a chance to get back in this game?
No. I mean, I was trying to actually get into a state of mind, you know, for the next game already. You know, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to lose this game. She played better than me. So I knew there could be some difficult moments in this tournament. It's not all smooth sailing. So this is obviously going to be one of those moments, and I'm just going to have to recover.
Yeah, I know that feeling exactly. Just clearing the game out of your system. And then when you saw her start to falter, and what did you think when f6 appeared on the board?
Well, I knew f6 was a blunder, and it was one of the hopes that I had when playing rook d8, because it's a very natural way to try to win the game. And I mean, you could see what she was counting on, and you know, unfortunately, she just you know, missed this rook takes f7 idea that she doesn't get to queen her pawn. So it was really just one tactical mistake on her part, was all that it took to actually ruin like a great game.
And when it appeared on the board, did you just think, I don't believe this just happened?
No, I mean, because, at the same time as I was trying to get, into a good state for the next games, I mean, I also tried my best in this game to defend. I mean, I didn't want to just resign. We were still in time pressure. People do make mistakes. And I actually reminded myself of how horribly I've played in time pressure before, and positions that I have not won with an extra piece, And so time pressure, well,
makes
sees
fools
a lot.
of us all.
Yes, it contains a lot of surprises.
Indeed. Well, that was certainly a shocking game. But now you managed to stay alive without a loss. I'm sure you want to clear your mind and maybe go celebrate a little bit at least, but you got another game to play.
Yes, well, I'm definitely very happy, at this moment.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck in the rest of your games.
That's all I need.
And really luck.
Luck. I just want some more luck like this.
Yes, we're with Alyssa Melekhina after, there's no fine point again, a very tough game. What did you feel when you played this move F6 after playing such a beautiful game?
Yeah, well, that's definitely going to be one of those moves that's going to haunt me for the rest of this tournament, maybe for future tournaments. But yeah, I felt like I gave it my all this game. I know we had that conversation yesterday about how can I manage chess if I'm still a lawyer, but I hope this game shows that I'm still definitely in it to win it, and I felt like I was on form, I was seeing everything, I was outplaying her, and I was that move 40.
It was
I think
39.
Yeah, it was right before time control, and just you always need those extra few minutes to think things through, and yeah.
When you played F6, you saw rook takes D6, of course. What exactly did you miss, or what did you miss?
Just for some reason, I didn't register the evaluation. Like, I saw her rook was attacked, so I thought that she had to move, and I was just playing. I didn't give it too much thought. I was just playing based on what I had calculated in the previous moves, and so rook takes D6 came as a complete shock to me. And at that point, I did a quick pawn count, and I realized, everything that I had worked for this game was over.
So actually, it's not that you missed. You didn't think F7, rook F7. You just didn't see the rook could take the knight because the other rook was under attack.
Right. Yeah. It was just one of those mental lapses, that move.
So how do you come back from this?
Well, you have to look at the positives. I mean, I was playing very well. I was outplaying a GM. I did have tough pairings this tournament to begin with. I had 2 blocks in a row, and then playing Krush, and then playing Anna Zatonski tomorrow. And I felt like, given everything, given that I don't get a chance to play as much as I want to or prepare as much as I want to, there are definitely a lot of good things to take away from this game, and it's still really early in the tournament. And if I can play like this, for the rest of the tournament, I'll be very happy.
A wonderfully positive attitude, and we hope you do close out those great games. You were giving us quite a thrill until that moment. We'll know we'll clean it up. So good luck in the rest of your games. And luck on your side this time as opposed to hers.
Exactly. Thanks, Maurice. I'll be back.
Quick question for Alyssa, because through most of the game, it was a fact Irina was in time trouble, but towards the very end, you kind of caught up on time, and you had just played this move, knight h6, f7 check, king g8, and we had a conversation here in studio about whether or not you should take in the repetition, just play knight h6 check, king back to h8, get in those extra 2 moves to get you to the time control, because at this point, you just mentioned yourself, Alyssa, that those extra few minutes might have been meaningful. Did it cross your mind to make a repetition?
That's a good question, but at that point she was a lot lower on time, and she was even getting down to less than 10 seconds, so I felt like I didn't want to help her out by helping her get to time control. She had to make some pretty critical decisions as well, so it was one of those strategic choices.
All right, fair enough. Thank you.